Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Taiti and I'm a knitwear designer. Originally from Ukraine, I'm coming to you from Haarlem, the Netherlands. And this is a podcast in which I'm sharing my inspirations, projects on my needles, and new designs. Please subscribe if you like it here and enjoy the episode. Hi and welcome. Welcome to the next episode of my podcast. I am very happy and excited to be sitting down here with you and taking a little break from work to share things that's been going on here, new projects, new designs, and talk a little bit about knitting. Before we dive into the exciting stuff of knits and creativity, I will catch up a little bit on what's going on in Ukraine. So if you think that's not something that you'd like to hear, please skip ahead and join me there for the conversation about knits. So if you know me already for a while, or if you follow me on Instagram, you probably know that I am Ukrainian, and both my husband and my family are still back in Ukraine. They decided not to flee and are trying to keep living their lives as it was before the war. Of course, that is an illusion, and I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube from bloggers and people who just film life as it is, not the news and the drastic pictures of destruction, but just how the real life looks like. And I think I'm getting a bit the feeling of what's going on. So in Kiev, where my husband's parents are staying, there is a little bit of a shortage with food and supplies and all the groceries and stuff like that, because I think the distribution chains were broken at some point, and also there is much more people in Kiev now, and apparently the chains are not effective enough to get enough food for everyone. So what our in-laws say, that shelves of the supermarkets are probably like half of what it was before the war. Not everything is available, and that is normal considering the situation. Also, the prices have been rising steadily. So now I think the government, they released the currency, so it is catching up with the dollar and euro. So the currency is falling down, and the prices are rising, of course. That everything is also very much connected to the oil, because Russians in the first months of the war, they were trying to bomb the oil depositories and the plants that were producing gasoline and stuff like that from oil, and that is mostly destroyed. So that's why the local supply of gasoline for the cars and for the whole supply thing to work, you need gas. That's been disrupted as well, and they are currently working on getting shipments from abroad, and that also means that the prices will be rising. So that's the general trend, I would say. Even in a small village where my family is, people see that prices start rising and they start to buy stuff for later, to have it now, buy it cheaper and have it later. So because the first 2 months, there was everything on the shelves, like there was no shortages. People didn't think that's gonna last, and they were hoping that the situation will resolve itself very fast. But now they start noticing that their money become worthless, and they can't buy as many things that they would like for the same amount of money they are making. So people start to accumulate things for the worst times, which might as well come very soon. Yeah, I think food-wise in small towns and villages, it's not as terrible as in bigger cities, because people still have their gardens and they can grow produce and at least have preserved food for winter. And that's also becoming a big issue. I know that my mom said the prices are rising for this for the metal lids you put on the long-term preserved food. So people are trying to get their hands on those, and yeah, because winter will be coming soon, and the season of harvesting will be coming soon, and nobody knows when the war will end. So that also what people are thinking about, and yeah, it's interesting and so depressing at the same time, because it feels like we are going back in time to the times of USSR, and where nothing was available and you had to grow food and preserve it for winter. And it's a big trauma for Ukrainians and like many other nations that has been part of the USSR, when we went through a huge famine in the 30s of 20th centuries. And it's been, I think people are thinking about that first, like before thinking about everything else. They will worry about food. So that's the situation. Traveling is very limited as well, also because of the gas. There is a limit how many liters of gas you can get at the petrol station, and usually if they bring some gas, it is gone within a few hours, and you need to know when and to which gas station they will bring the gas. I've been really looking into ways how to travel back to Ukraine, and I don't know, maybe bring some stuff, or just go there and spend some time with my family, and I don't know, if not make a difference for some people, then just make a difference for myself, and be able to spend some time with my family and help my grandma with the garden and everything, which sounds like a lot of work, but also sounds like a time well spent. So at the moment, that's still quite dangerous, because they constantly bomb railways, and railways, as far as I know, is more or less the only option to get to Ukraine. You have to travel to, I don't know, Poland or Hungary, and then take a train from there to some of the border cities in Ukraine, and then probably from there you can take a train to Kiev or somewhere in the north, and then from there I would need to look for a bus or a taxi or something, because Kiev is not a question really. I don't think there is it's quite dangerous to travel the road from my place to Kiev, because it goes through Bucha and Irpin, and those quite dangerous places right now. I mean, every day you hear reports that someone was stepped on a bomb or something. So I don't think I will go to Kiev, but if I do, I will probably go to my hometown. And that will mean figuring out all the logistics. So I don't know yet if that's gonna happen, but I will take it slow and see. Maybe by the end of summer that will be more possible. And I also don't want to overload the system that much, because me being there is not necessary really. So, and all the priority in terms of crossing the borders and transportation, everything goes to military, and I totally understand that. So I don't want to be in the way there. I know that my family is safe at home, and they have everything they need. So if they will need to buy food, it's easier for me to transfer the money, and then they will be able to to afford it. But for now, that's not necessary, and probably me going there is not a very wise step. But if there is such an opportunity and it's more or less doable, I will be looking into that. Because you think this is not for a long time, and then we all thought Corona is not going to be for a long time, but it took 2 years of our lives, and I don't know how long this war is going to last, and how many years that will mean I won't be able to see my family. And I would really like to do that. Yeah. So before I move completely to a different topic, I would also like to thank everyone on Patreon who's supporting me. And I know you're there for knitting, but I also know that many of you are there because I'm Ukrainian, and I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Everything what you do and you say and you give matters, and I do appreciate it, and I'm sure all Ukrainians do appreciate all the help they get. We are very, very grateful. So yes, as you can see, I'm wearing my Ornata, and Ornata blouse is now in the testing, and then the test is almost finished. Since I decided to take a little break in the beginning of June, so it's like in less than a week, I will be going away for 10 days. I also extended the deadline, and the testers will have more time to finish their beautiful blouses, and I'm really, really looking forward to see those. There's been some concerns about the fit and the whole construction, so probably people in the bigger sizes were saying, oh, I would love to test, but I think it's not gonna fit my body. So I'm really looking forward to see how it works out in many different sizes, because at the beginning I also thought that maybe it makes me look too voluminous, maybe it's not that flattering. But the more I wear it, the more I try to style it, I realized that it's actually a very nice design and a very nice fit. With the ribbing at the bottom, I can just fold it, and it highlights my waist, and the rest. I think one of the things that I left intentionally very plain is the top here. You have this really nice picot here on the custom edge. It's a nice folded kind of thing, hem. But beside of that, it's very plain knitting, like you just work the yoke and then the bodies are also very plain. But the reason why is that traditionally these embroidered blouses, all the embroidery was on the sleeves. The way it is worn, it was an undergarment in a way. So the embroidered ones were really a festive version of an undergarment in a way. So you would wear a shirt, and then on top you will have a vest or something on top. So this part will be covered. That's why there was no embroidery here. Like, why would you waste all the thread, and all the work? You have lots of things to do. So this part was always not covered with any embroideries. It was just plain. And since you will have some stuff on top of it, and then of course you will have all the necklaces on top, like the nice rich girls or poor girls, they also want it. And what I'm wearing and the necklaces you've seen, they're made of clay. They are not stones, so they are not traditional coralli. They are just like clay beads, fired and glazed, if glazed. So they will wear kind of poor girls will wear anyway. They will wear necklaces with different materials, maybe not that expensive as the rich girls could afford, but they will still wear necklaces and the more of them they had, the richer they looked. So long story short, this part is intentionally not embroidered and not knit in any color work. That's why you will probably need to add some styling in here, like a necklace, or I saw some of the testers pulling a thread through the first row here on the neck. You can see that in the unraveler in the text in the test project. So they were trying to embellish a little bit the neckline, and if you think that you need something here and you don't wear necklaces or anything, and you really like it, then you can just do a double stitch here and kind of embroider the same motif from the sleeve in front here, and that will add you more beautiful pattern on here and some exciting elements on the front, if you think this is just too plain. But yeah, I really like it with the necklaces, and I haven't been wearing them for a long time, and now I really feel like I should be. So this is what Ornata looks like, and the pattern, as always, will be graded. It is graded to 9 sizes, so I really hope that even in the bigger sizes you can be confident enough to pull off such a blouse, because it is beautiful. And you know, when I think about it, back in the days, women were also of different sizes and different shapes, and all of them wore this kind of shirt, and I think it looked flattering on anybody, because the shape is very universal, and I think the only tricky part here, you have to figure out what to do with the hem. So don't go too low. Just find this perfect spot where it has to end, because otherwise your bust will be moving into your hips without any waist, and that's, I think, like the trickiest part, to make you look more rounded and not just like a big bulb of something. So otherwise, this part with a voluminous sleeve and a nice necklace and a beautiful long neck, I think that's really beautiful on women of any sizes. So yeah, I'm very passionate about this, as you can see, and I'm a big advocate of trying new things and not just doing what you think you should be doing. So yeah. This one is done. I'm hoping that John Urban Textiles will be offering kits and maybe a little discount when the pattern goes out, but that will be after I come back from my little vacation. And so I'm hoping beginning of June, middle of June, the pattern should be out. And yeah, I hope well received, because it deserves it. Moving on, I will show you another beautiful design that I finished. Last time I complained that my knitting mojo wasn't there, but yeah, I think it's back, and the more I think about vacation and having a break, I felt like my second breathing opened. I don't know how to call this. In Ukrainian is second breath, drugie dychanie. So yeah, I had many ideas, and I cast on some new things. So now I have to be patient and just leave it here, and then when I come back, finish it. So yeah, for some reason I feel really hyped today. So yes, this one, the next one, I have a name for it finally. I wanted to thank every one of you who left your suggestions on Instagram, because at the beginning I wasn't sure how to name it, and naming a design for me is a very intimate process, and sometimes I get ideas from outside, and I do appreciate them. I keep them somewhere on the shelves in my brain, so then they will eventually be used somehow, and they will influence my train of thought, but it is still a very intimate and very funny process. It's like the name has to be it has to be unique, so that no one else has used it before, as much as I can do that, of course. And there should be a hashtag on Instagram free for it, so that's also very important. Then it has to tell a story, so it has to be meaningful, not just a beautiful word. That's also my struggle a little bit when people suggest me names from different languages or some really meaningful things but that I don't relate to. I mean, I'm not into the whole Nordic topic. I mean, I know little about it, so that's why for me to use that name, I would need to learn a lot of things and then say that, yeah, I'm using this name because this and this and that. So yeah, there are lots of beautiful options, and it has to be a very organic thing. So the way when you hear it and see the design, you associate one with another, and then when you need it and you want to post a picture, it will be like it's there. Like, you know how to tag it, you know how to call it, and you know why it's called that way. So I think a few days ago I wrote on Instagram that I'm not in the business of making clothes, that I'm in the business of telling stories, and I think that is very important for me. I wouldn't be doing this just for, like for a company selling a design and then we go selling another. I don't think that's about that for me. Especially this year, I think I've been putting a lot of thought into what I do, and putting a lot of meaning, and keeping conversations going about what I'm doing and why I'm doing this way, while it's called this way, and what story it tells. So yeah, long story short, I'm being carried away. So this one is called Roots and Shoots, and I had this name already for quite a while, like just running around in my head, and then I made the design, and the design was inspired by those tree of life embroidery patterns that you see on many of the Eastern European embroideries, when you have like a big tree with birds and flowers and everything. It's like one long when the elements they are symmetrical, so you will have like a one line, and on both sides of this line you will have things growing, like flowers and leaves and trees and birds and sun and all the mystical elements that have a lot of meaning for people, and they are supposed to protect your life and your family and your heritage. So yes, I've thought about that, and then I had this name and it all came together. And the way I see it in the design is that I made this the hem and cuffs in just a ribbing, in corrugated ribbing, and I saw them as roots. So you will start from the roots. I mean, you need top down, but looking at it, you will start from the roots, and then there will be all these flowers and shoots basically, and it all felt really magical. So I finished this pullover already, and I already got back the pattern from my tech editor, and I think this week or next week, before I leave for the trip, we will start the testing. So yeah, I think I really like this one. It is a bit more voluminous in the yoke, especially here around the sleeves and the bust, because as I told you last time, I wanted to have more room in the sleeve and in the underarm to avoid faulting. So there is room here in this part, and then because of the corrugated ribbing, it is slightly gathered at the hem, so it just in the measurements you notice this, but it is just slightly gathered at the hem, and you can just use a bigger needle to avoid this gathering and have it just flat and straight boxy shape of the body. Or if you want to add some waist shaping, that's also a nice option. And the sleeves are quite rapidly shaped, so because it's so wide in here, it goes really fast and narrows down to the cuff. But yeah, I think it's overall a very, very simple shape, but it's a very beautiful color work pattern that is really easy to work, because there are no long floats on anything tricky, but the elements are just really beautiful, and I had a lot of fun working on it. I think I did it like in 2 days or so. The only thing that I thought afterwards was the cast on edge, because I started the color work very close to the cast on edge, and then it was turning a little bit, and I could see the floats of the contrasting yarn on the wrong side. So what I did in the end, I added like a nice how do you call this, single crochet, 1 round of single crochet in contrasting color here on the edge, and I think it added a nice little touch to the edge. You could also do it in the main color, and it would be also very, very beautiful, I think. I don't know why I did it in contrasting color. I actually think that if I did it in the main color, it would be nicer, at least for me, because my my features are very smooth, and I don't look good in a high contrast outfits, so I think this is like a bit too much contrast for me, so the white would be better. But yeah, you need to know what works best for you, and otherwise I think this would be really nice for anyone. Let's talk a little bit about the yarn that I used. For this one, I used a single strand of Nutiden, and mine is glint. So this is the colorway that is yellowish white, off-white. I don't know, a very nice subtle color. Ooh. And I held it together with a strand of silk mohair, which was beige from Bitches. I don't know how to call it, but yeah, from the French brand that makes this kind of yarn. Yeah, I can show you the label. The label is this one. Yeah, so this was beige, and they looked really nice together. And why I decided to do this is, come on, focus. You can see. Yeah. So you basically don't see the beige, but it makes working with a single strand of Nutiden very much easier. Because especially this blend was you could trace, how do you call it? Well, it breaks very easily, so if you want to work with one strand, you really need a lace strand with it. And I figured out that using one strand is actually a very economical way. I actually used about 2 plates of Nutiden, and that means that I have enough for another sweater left from the was it 300? I think I ordered 300 grams. So that means that, yeah, I can use it more efficiently. And for the contrasting color, I used leftovers of my oxalis, and this was a beautiful color, and I hope they will do it again one time or many times. It's a really beautiful color, and I held it together with silk mohair, which is red brown, this one that I showed you before. So I had also an option, as I showed you probably last time on the swatch. You see, I also tried doing some gradient a little bit. I still have this other yarn that I don't remember the colorway, but yeah, it's a bit lighter, much lighter than oxalis. And I think if you're not that lazy as I am, you could do a beautiful faded color work, and that would look absolutely gorgeous. The thing is, I was just too lazy probably, and I was so anxious. Well, I was so impatient to finish it. I just got into working it, and I just couldn't stop. So yeah, but you could mix like another shades of Nutiden and have a beautiful fading gradient, or yeah, this could be a really beautiful idea. And you don't have to use a different silk mohair. You can just use the same silk mohair with just different shades of I don't know what yarn you choose. That will be okay. Yeah, like here, I think using the same silk mohair would actually tie the different colors together, because here I used the same silk mohair, and you know, it makes it almost like a seamless gradient. Well, I hope you understand what I mean, because I'm lacking for words. So yeah, this one is done. I will have it tested, and then hopefully beginning of July the pattern should be out. I'm trying to well, to be honest with you, in order to keep this financially sustainable, I more or less have to release a pattern every month, and I don't want to do more than once a month, because that feels to me that feels like fast fashion in a way, and I don't want to overwhelm you with things that you might like to make. And I know that that is not possible, especially considering how many other designs are coming out every month. And yeah, so I'm trying to keep it sustainable for myself and for you as well. And for now, I'm sticking at one pattern a month. And regardless of the season, I hope Nutiden is something that you can work with during summer, and then you'll have your beautiful garments ready for fall and winter. And if you're in the southern hemisphere and it's winter for you, you are in luck. There will be beautiful sweater, warm sweater out in July. This one is something very similar to Ornata blouse in a way, and I think this is also something really nice for summer. But let me start from the beginning. So back in, what was it? Around winter or so, Maria from Colori Naturali, she's a dyer in Italy. She sent me some yarns of hers, and it took me forever to figure out what to do with them. I think we started talking when it was still Corona times, and it is so difficult to choose colors when you look at the screen. Well, colors and the different yarns and everything. I struggled with it a lot, and when I commit to something, I usually like to have an idea what I'm gonna do. So I don't want to give people hopes and promises if I can't deliver. So she sent me the yarns, and yeah, it took me a while to figure out what to do with them. And I started with some, and I started with a linen. So I have some of her linen. I had 2 skeins. It is a very thin, can you see it? Yeah, it is a lace weight, a really thin yarn that you have to fold twice. And I added here the same silk mohair that I used. I had leftovers from, of course, leftovers. I used very little for Roots and Shoots. And I used it also together with the linen to make a blouse, a summerish, a very light blouse that you could put on top of dresses. I'm not 100% sure what Maria is gonna think about it because I haven't showed her yet. Because it's mixing yarns of 2 brands, but she also sent me some of her silk mohair, but I just didn't feel like adding these 2 together. I just really thought that this combination would be better, and that comes back to sustainability issues, and I didn't want her to send me more yarn, so she could have sent me something more suitable to go with this one, but when I had an idea, I already had this one, and I thought, oh, why not? Really. I'm sure she has matching colors of the silk mohair, and when we release the design, she will be able to offer those as kits. But for my sample, I did use another brand of silk mohair, and well, I don't see a big problem there. I don't know if she's gonna agree with me, but well, long story short, I used 2 strands of linen, pure linen, held together with 1 strand of silk mohair, and this is what happened. I did the top as well, like this one. So you have the same picot edge. Can you see? It's focusing on me. Don't. So you have the same picot edge, but you also have a cut here, and you have cute little tassels to close it up in case you don't like it to open. And you can choose how deep you can make the opening here, and yeah, and then on the hem you have a lace pattern with a nice border picot hem. Here I need to thank all of you who answered my call for help on Instagram with fixing the hem that it didn't roll. I have found a beautiful way to do that, and I will add a video to the pattern of how I did it. And this one comes with 2 versions of the sleeve. I did a short sleeve for those who like a short t-shirt version of the sleeve. It also has some lace and the same treatment of the edge. And I did a 3/4 sleeve with how they call this? Well, it's a wide sleeve which grows wider to the cuff, and then you have the same lace pattern and a treatment with picots. And it is a very light, a very flowy, drapey blouse that I think I'm gonna use a lot. I will take pictures with both of the sleeves, with different sleeves, and then I will need to decide which sleeve I want and finish it, so that I have 2 identical sleeves, because, well, you can't really walk like that. So yeah, what can I tell you? It's beautiful. I really like the tassels, and this actually resembles the traditional shirts as well. That comes from the same source of inspiration, because I know that many of you said that this one was a bit plain here. So if you are watching this after this pattern is out, you can use the top of this neck, to make ornata with the same opening of the neck, and yeah, have a little bit of movement and action going on here. You could have the tassels as well, and then maybe you can add some embroidery on both sides of the front. So yeah, you see, there are endless opportunities, and when designing something like this, you're walking a very narrow line between it being wearable and being too costumey. So I think I'm pretty safe for now, but yeah, you have to remember that, because they're two different things, and I would love to make designs that people can wear and not just admire on the shelf somewhere or on the pictures. So I will probably have it ready for testing in the middle of June, and then yeah, July-ish, depending on how long it will take to test. If it's a short sleeve, probably much faster. Yeah, so you see what's coming, now you know before everyone else does. Or if you're watching this later, you know more what's going on behind the scenes and how the designs come together. I'm really excited for warmer weather, because it's really cold these days, like 15 degrees Celsius, and I'm really looking forward for the warmer weather to wear this one with a dress, and yeah, something more playful than just the regular sweaters that I'm used to. Yes. So with this, everyone, I would like to thank you for watching. If you like it here, please subscribe. All the likes and shares are welcome. It will help me to grow the audience and do more for you. Thank you very, very much, and stay safe.